What about the music?
What about the music?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Now we're asking the tough
I'm not
questions.
doing it without music. You have to start with music.
Okay, we can do music.
And welcome to Working Title with Zach Sams. I am glad to be back. It is 2018, and we are excited. We are in Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and I kind of like that music a little bit there, Zach. What was that?
You know, I don't know. Josh, what was the name of that track?
It was a funky, upbeat, good time.
I know them, yeah. I think I saw them last week at a concert. They were
Funky,
pretty good.
upbeat, good time.
Yeah.
Well, it is a good time.
Yeah, that is fun. That is a good time. This show is about a good time. So, hey, welcome back. If it's been a while since you've listened, we are thrilled to be here. It's 2018. I know I already said that, but I couldn't think of anything else to say. I want to thank the producers that are here with me. Zach Lewis, what's going on, man?
Same old stuff. It's been a minute since we did one of these.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. It has. But we're back with a new format, and I'm excited about it. And we have Matt Stoker's with us now, and he's new to the show. Hey, Matt.
This is actually Josh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Matt took the day off.
Who's Matt Stoker?
Matt Stoker's normally the guy that sits in this booth. I'm his sour replacement for the day.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
he would be the guy.
We're just going to have to put up with Josh then, I guess. Huh?
Josh.
All right.
Josh, welcome to the show.
Josh,
Thank
we're
you,
glad
sir.
you're here.
Hey.
You look more like a Josh than a
Than a
Matt Stoker. Well, so guys, here we are. It's a new format. And what's this show about? That's what everybody's asking me as they see me walking down the streets. They've heard about the podcast, but they haven't heard in a long time. And this show's it's about being positive. It's about optimistic things that are going on here in the DFW Metroplex.
Yeah.
You know, I turn on the news and I just get mad. You know, there's just like
There's a lot going on in the world today. Yeah, that much is true.
It's like everyone's got an agenda. You know, everything's negative. They're divisive. They put people against each other, and that's just no way to live. And we're going to talk about exciting things, fun things. They could be in the news, or maybe they're local feel-good stories, new things to do, new places to live, new places to go. Just what's going on in Dallas, you know, and don't Fort Worth. Don't get mad. Fort Worth too. Really, North Texas. This area is booming. It's growing, and kind of just this underlying theme. For me is the real estate market. That's what I've always been in. You know, the last 13 years I've been in the real estate industry, and I remember I kind of got in the real estate industry in 2007, and it was at the height of the market, and then like 3 months later, like the whole bottom fell out, and everybody was, you know, super sad. The stock market went, you know, to the bottom, and then there was this like long period of time where I guess everybody thought the world was ending, right?
Right.
And now like we're back, and Texas has just like come out of this downturn in just this huge way. I was reading that 1,000 people moved to Dallas a day.
1,000 people.
1,000 people.
You know, last I heard it was like a Boeing 747's worth of people a day.
I've never been on one of those.
I feel like I heard that on this show at some point, but maybe it was
that
another
was
one.
an old stat I made up. This is a new stat I made up.
Oh,
so,
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
so my
yeah,
stats get better and bigger as I make them up.
Right.
So just so you know that.
New stat. Got it.
Yeah, but that was actually in the Dallas Morning News, so they made it up. But that gives it more credibility. But 1,000 people a day, that's just, if you think about that, that's crazy.
That's extreme.
Well, when I think of like an anthill, and it's just really, you know, people running everywhere. I don't know how it works. I don't know where all these people go. But in our industry, we're feeling it because there's not enough places for everybody to live. And so that's what keeps the economy going. That's what keeps the home builders building. That's what keeps the businesses opening. That's what keeps the jobs coming to Dallas. So we're really excited about that. And those are some of the things that we're going to talk about on this show. And, you know, really, actually, before we get into that,
Yeah.
what'd y'all do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I tried to figure out Valentine's stuff. That was.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I do. I think by the time this show comes out, it will
will
already
be
be
over.
past Valentine's.
Yeah,
So
and
whatever I'm concerned about now was null and void. If you're hearing this, don't worry about it. I figured it out, I guess.
You might still be in trouble at that point, though.
What'd you do this weekend?
We went to Monster Jam. Have y'all ever done
That's
that?
right. I saw that on Facebook. You went to Monster Jam. Yeah.
I was a Monster Jam beginner, and I'll tell you what, that is fun.
Really?
We took our two boys there, and I mean, like, there's gasoline in the air.
Sure.
These trucks are flying 20 feet, in the sky. They do. I mean, I don't know how much these trucks weigh, but 3 of them did backflips.
Really?
I don't know how that's physically possible, but I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun. And if you do have little kids out there, Monster Jam keeps them very entertained, and you will have a good time too.
That was one of those things that they would always run ads for, like Sunday, Monster Truck Rally. I remember those, like $10 to get in, $5 for kids or something. What's the going rate on Monster Jam now?
Well, our tickets I think were like $65, and the seats we had at Jerry World were unbelievable. And it's amazing to see trucks driving around in the middle of where the Cowboys play. But I'll tell you what, it's fun. If you have kids, you should do that. So yeah, little tidbit there for a good time.
Little something to do. Josh, how about yourself? What'd you have going on? Here he is.
I have a 1-year-old child, so I did
congratulations.
a whole lot of nothing.
Oh wow, 1 year old, huh?
Yeah, I did get to repaint the cabinets in the kitchen, and I got to practice Cheerio time. The finger dexterity with a 1-year-old is very important. So being able to use your thumb and finger to pick up Cheerios.
Finger dexterity, that's never been said on the show before, so that is good. That is good. Well, Josh, that sounds fun. In a few years, you'll get to go to Monster Jam.
Check out the Monster Jam
in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this week, today's Fat Tuesday.
Today is Fat Tuesday.
Mardi Gras is this week, and it's a time for crawfish, as my wife would say.
Right.
And we actually went to get crawfish this weekend, and they were sold out, so she was bummed about that. But,
Zach, you're a world traveler. You've been to New Orleans for Mardi Gras? You made it over that way?
I haven't been for Mardi Gras. I have been to New Orleans a few times, but I can't do crowds, and Mardi Gras, I would lose my total mind.
Crowds are a hassle.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Are you from DFW originally? North Texas?
Yeah, born in Dallas. I wouldn't do the show if I wasn't from Dallas. So yeah, born and raised. Short little stint in San Diego and back to Dallas in real estate, and here we are on this show.
It's crazy. I was originally from Houston and moved up here for college, ended up sticking around, and it's what you say about 1,000 people coming every day, there's something about it, man. There's something in the water. You're right. Like people come in and they stick around.
Yeah, and it's you have a good political climate here. You have jobs, and people are coming here, and so that is that's what this show is about, and that's kind of what we're going to see as we go through 2018 on the segments that we put on this podcast. We'll be talking to developers that are building neighborhoods and apartments and things like that. We'll be talking to restaurateurs who are bringing new restaurants and hotel developers that are building some new resorts that are coming into the market that I can't talk about yet. But at some point this year, we'll be able to announce a couple of those things. We'll bring those people on the show. And there's some big things coming to DFW. And we're just excited about it. And that's what we want our listeners to know, is that you can tune in here. You're not going to be mad when you turn it off that you think the world's ending. You might know something else to do that's coming up this weekend, and you might hear about some new projects that are coming into DFW. Maybe it's a new place for you to live. Maybe it's a new place for you to visit, or maybe it's a new place for you and the wife just to go do a short staycation one weekend. And regain your composure. Especially if you're working on finger dexterity with a 1-year-old.
Right.
You're going to need a little break.
That's a big one. You want to make sure you use lead-free paint, Josh.
Yes, thank you.
So I wanted to go in a couple things. I was reading in the news, and there's just some great, exciting stuff coming along. So, Parkland Hospital, which was that's where they took JFK.
Right. It's a big one. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it is big. But the old one, not the new one, the old one has been just kind of sitting there. And evidently, it is being eyed as a new big mixed-use project. So
really,
they're going to turn that into hotels. They're going to turn that into housing. It's going to be called the District, and it's going to be right there inside the medical district. But so it'll kind of pair with that area. There'll be senior housing for those of us that have our aging parents. Might be an option. Extended stay hotels for patients and families who have people that might be in the hospital and they've had to travel in from out of town to visit them. So I think that's a pretty exciting possibility for the old Parkland buildings. That's a Dallas landmark, so that would be really cool to see them do something neat like that with that.
I had a question about something that just went up. I had a friend that went to this over the weekend. The Legacy Food Hall. Have you seen this? You been out there?
Yeah, in Legacy West?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the best thing you'd ever taste in your life, a Monte Cristo sandwich. A friend of mine brought it to me.
A Monte
and it was
Cristo.
unbelievable.
That is a fried ham and cheese sandwich. Is that what that is?
Yes, that's correct. And this one was fried on Belgian waffle bread.
No way.
Yeah, it was low-cal.
And that was... Sure, low-cal, absolutely. Just working out that carb budget for the day.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never been. I heard it was a really cool scene. It's not mixed use. It's how would you describe
Legacy West is mixed use. We just moved our new office into One Legacy West, which is part of the same corridor.
Oh, wow.
But the Legacy West you're talking about is Legacy West Urban Village. And if you haven't been down there, talk about cool places to visit. The new Del Frisco's restaurant is there. Mm-hmm. There's a great place called Earl's Kitchen. We actually did a private dinner. We've done 2 private dinners over there. One at Del Frisco's for a real estate event, and then a company event down the street at Tommy Bahama's, which they both have private rooms. And there's all kinds of shopping. One of those fancy Starbucks where you can actually order wine or something in.
Beer and wine, and they have drinks that no other Starbucks have.
Do they really?
Yeah.
So there's only, I think, 10 of them in the world, and they have one.
And there's one in DFW naturally. So that, if there's anything that puts us on the map, we have one of the 10 extra expensive Starbucks here in DFW.
Don't quote me on 10, but it's somewhere around that number, like 10, 11, 12. Also,
it's
a
good low
place
number.
over there is Italia North or North Italia, whichever one it is.
North Italia?
It is a little Italian spot in there, and they have phenomenal food.
Oh, yeah?
There you go. You heard it here. So that's what this. Guys, this is what we're talking about. Talking about the good stuff going on in DFW, and Legacy West is one of the good ones. And J.P. Morgan Chase, Merrill Lynch,
yeah,
and Liberty Mutual are there. Across the street from our new building is the new Toyota North American headquarters. That is a booming area.
That's like a whole show. You could talk about that.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's. There you go. Spoiler alert. The Legacy West show coming up.
We'll
soon.
come back to that.
Absolutely. I'll tell you. You want to talk about something really cool? In Fort Worth, in May, they're voting on a $250 million bond project to build an island.
To build an island?
An island, Panther Island. It's a Riverwalk project on the Trinity. So
I'm trying desperately to think about Fort Worth island jokes, but I got nothing. So they want to build an island on the Trinity River?
Yeah, they're going to make an island. It's 800-acre island, right? And it's think of when I think of Riverwalk, I think of San Antonio. So I guess the restaurants, the hotels, businesses. So it's supposedly they're going to have enough. They're going to have several thousand residences that would be built there.
Sure.
And all within walking distance of businesses and shops and restaurants. So if you're in Fort Worth, that might be something cool to vote for.
Yeah, not to mention just like general job creation. That's incredible. That could do a lot for them. That's a really cool idea. An island. I never thought about that till just now. And so far, knowing very little about it, I think it's brilliant.
So there's already something similar to that. You can kind of get a preview of it, and it's called Woodhouse or Woodhouse Barbecue. It's by Chef Love over there.
Chef Love.
And he has a barbecue place
Yeah.
right on the river. And a little
it's off University.
Yep, a little hub over there that has a little so you can hang out, hear the babbling brook, and have some phenomenal fall off the bone ribs all right there in the same little area. So that's kind of a preview of what they want to do on that island.
That is cool, and you're the second person to tell me about that barbecue place, and I haven't been there myself, but I have
Shameless
heard,
plug.
Yeah, I've heard it is awesome. And
Woodhouse Barbecue? I want to make sure I got that before I. Woodhouse?
Yes, it is Woodshed.
Woodshed
Smokehouse.
Gotcha.
We'll put it on the blog and on the Facebook page for you there, Zach.
Perfect.
So you can,
Please do.
So you can find
I'd
that
appreciate that. I might need a good date night idea, being that tomorrow
is Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day, baby.
Nothing
We're going to barbecue.
That's right.
Exactly.
Hey,
romance,
Josh said it was good. Okay.
Josh, you went straight under the bus on that one. So that's really exciting. Because the Trinity River, as I can remember it growing up, was always considered like a cesspool of toxic waste and trash.
Sure.
And now they're turning it into a fun place to go, a river walk, and as of recently, people have been tubing on the Trinity River. I don't know if you've heard about that. Yeah, over the last couple of years.
No, yeah, I always heard the Trinity River was like the Galveston Beach of Texas rivers, but I don't know. I haven't swam in the Trinity, so who am I to say?
I don't know. I always imagine like neon green 400-pound catfish, that are mutated.
Just tremendous frogs.
This show's going way downhill.
No,
right now.
no. This is all good stuff.
If they could find a way, that would be a really cool thing. Find a way to float from downtown Dallas to downtown Fort Worth, and have little like food stops and keg spots all along the way to fill up on your like 4-hour raft ride
excursion.
That would be a really cool idea if someone could put that together.
Sure.
Well, that is in the works. You see the Trinity Groves. And supposedly, it's been planned out or thought out that, that Trinity through Dallas into Fort Worth at one point will be like an actual, thoroughfare of business and
some kind
residents
of
and stuff like that. Why not use? You got a river, use it for something fun instead of.
San Antonio did it. Why not? Yeah. Who's to say? They're not better than us.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. So, guys, hey, that was great. That was a great first segment. When we come back, we are going to be talking about a new show coming to Dallas. It's a national show, and it's going to air this Saturday for the first time. So we're going to talk about that, the involvement I have in it, and we got a guest who's going to be on the show coming up next. Working Title with Zach Sams. Thanks for being here. Welcome back to Working Title with Zach Sams. We are excited to be back. Again, it's 2018. This is the kickoff of our new season here. And one thing that I'm really, really excited about that I want to share with you is the American Dream TV. This is a new show that's coming to Dallas. Well, actually, the show's not new, but being in Dallas, it is new for the show. And so my company, Kensington Vanguard National Title, we are a major sponsor of the show, and so we've had involvement with the show since day one. We hosted the casting call, and we brought all the potential contributors on the show in, and they met the host, and we kind of went through this whole rigmarole about the show and trying to generate interest in who wanted to be on the show, and we generated a ton of interest. And so what's exciting about the American Dream is it's really kind of what is exciting for me about doing this show is the American Dream's a positive show. It talks about, it's kind of a news show, and they talk about positive things. They talk about the good things that are going on here. And there's so many great things going on in this country. And the American Dream is something I think people forget about. They forget about, why it is such an opportunity and such a blessing that we live in America and that we have the opportunities that we do. And kind of the backbone of the American Dream is private property, home ownership, being able to own your piece of dirt where you raise your family. And so many parts of the country, or not the country, excuse me, so many parts of the world, private property and home ownership, they do not know what that is, and they don't have any possibility of having that opportunity. So, in essence, the American Dream is a lot of things: liberty, the pursuit of happiness, freedom, but a big part of the American Dream is home ownership. And so that's why I was excited to be a part of this show where good news is talked about. They've got great interviews with people doing all types of great things in this country, and not the normal people you see on news shows that they're out there with an agenda. These are business leaders. Some of them are heroes. On one episode on another market, they had the guy that was in Las Vegas that jumped in one of the cop cars and rescued some people, and that was a really cool interview, and something that Zach, I hadn't even heard of till I heard about them doing that interview. So
I haven't heard that either. That's news to me.
Yeah, because they, the normal news doesn't want you to know about the good stuff. It's more fun to talk about who died than who saved somebody.
Right. We get so caught up in the water cooler mentality that everybody just wants to hear about the general stuff. You miss the hyper local things that this show is about. You miss the good stuff.
The feel good stories. There's feel good stories out there, and the American Dream wants to bring those to you. This show wants to bring those to you. And don't get me wrong, the American Dream is like a really awesome Emmy-nominated, very well-produced show. So I don't want to put myself on the same pedestal. Maybe in a couple more podcasts we'll be at that level. But right now, we're just excited to announce the show. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play a little clip of the show, a little preview for you. And then really excited that I was able to sit down and do a little interview with one of the first contributors on the American Dream. His name is Denton Aguam, and we're going to hear from him too. But right before we go to this clip, I just want you to know kind of the basis of the contributors for the American Dream. So we have 12 contributors here in Dallas, Fort Worth that are going to be featured on the show. And there's going to be 2 of them each week, and the show's going to air on Saturdays at 1 p.m. on TX21, local CBS affiliate. And these contributors are some of the biggest real estate agents in the market. And like I said before, the American Dream, home ownership. So what happens is the show, it speaks nationally about a lot of different topics, and then it goes local to our areas. And so here in Dallas, we will watch our local people, local real estate agents talking about the market and what's going on in these areas, and cluing us in on things that are changing, things that are coming, and keeping us up to date with our local area, which is very exciting. So Denton Aguam is going to be the first guest on the show, or contributor on the show this Saturday, and we'll hear from him soon. But we're going to go to a little preview of the show, and we'll be back after that. Thanks.
Every single day, you are consumed with information. With the 24/7 negative news cycle and a pop culture that's polluting the airwaves, all selling out for the ratings game. Well, guess what? There's a more positive way to look at life. You live in the greatest city in the greatest country on the planet. Every day with our elite network of professionals, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage. And now it's time to fight for your American dream.
All right, welcome back to Working Title with Zach Sams. With me this segment is Denton Aguam. Denton is the owner and founder of the Dare Network with Keller Williams Realty. Hey, Denton, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain. It's a little cold outside, which I'm not too happy about, but we're indoors, so I'm making it now. The Dare Network. Tell us about what is the Dare Network? That sounds like what I went elementary school when the Dare officer came. So is that something you're doing on the side, or tell me about the Dare Network?
No, but that is funny because I did think about that when I started the Dare Network. So really quickly about myself, I've been in real estate for about 15 years. I was an individual agent for the majority of that time, from 2002 pretty much to 2012. Kind of operated on my own. But kind of what happened in 2009, kind of the best and worst of times, to be honest. I was selling a lot of real estate, 50 plus homes, but my life balance was a little out of whack. And then unfortunately, my dad had cancer that year, and he'd been battling for 6 years, and it was his time. So it was kind of the best and worst of times. I was working really hard and traveling down to Houston quite a bit to make sure I could spend a lot of time with him.
Right.
So I really had a moment of clarity, right? I mean, do I really want to do this? Is this what I want to do? And I started studying teams in real estate. And teams hadn't really been around that much. There had been some people doing it successfully. So I started studying it for the next 2 years and seeing, is this what I want to do? So now fast forward to 2012, I decided to go all in. I started hiring a team member. The first one was Lindsay Knight, who now runs my entire sales division. And from 2013 to 2017, we've had some pretty exponential growth. Now, I'd like to say it's all me, but it's not. It's my team members. But in 2013, we went from 11 million to 14 million to 25 million to 42 million to 65 million this year.
Wow,
in sales.
That's quite a progression, Denton.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of that you gain momentum, right? Once you kind of gain that momentum, it's really hard to stop. Or geometric progression is how I've heard it described if you're technical. But yeah, it's been great. Now we're about 21 people. And we call it the network because our goal is to expand into other markets. So our main place we sell business is Dallas and Collin County, but our hub, if you will, or headquarters, is in Plano, Texas.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So, hey, so with that type of growth and 21, one person to 21 people, obviously what you're saying is that the team you've built has really helped you, with that type of growth. What's your secret to hiring? People listening have got to wonder, like, hey, how do you find that kind of people to achieve that type of growth? What's your game plan there?
Yeah, so I'll say two things there. One, it's a trained skill. It's not, I probably got lucky on the first hire with Lindsay, but after that, it was definitely a trained skill where you have to learn what you're looking for, what do you really want in your business, what your vision is for your company, so you can find and attract the right talented people. And now today, it's a little easier where now, because we're getting some steam, talented people are coming to us wanting to get in business with us, which is great. The second thing I would say is, and this is just on me, I stopped focusing on myself and what I wanted and focused on what other people wanted. I think that's a Zig Ziglar quote. And when I did that, my whole life changed.
That's cool, and that's you hear that, and it sounds almost cliche, but it really isn't. It's such a common thread with successful people is that you hear that. When I got outside myself, things started to really happen. I think that's just a cool testimony to how investing in others can really help you win. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, Denton, one more thing before we get to the actual subject at hand. So, in today's market, you're a team of 21, and I think everybody probably knows a few realtors that they sit down and think about it. But most realtors work on their own. So, why is a team more beneficial than my neighbor down the street who says he's in real estate?
Yeah, no, great question. It's a common question we get, and I'll have to go back to what we call the value proposition. At the end of the day, you can go and hire an individual agent, which is great. There is nothing wrong with that. And in the last 2 to 3 years, this market has been so hot that maybe you did need a strong team behind you. But as this market switches, which is a little bit of what I'm going to talk about on the TV show, you will need a more high-level service, highly aggressive sales team, people that are going to help get your home sold back like it was in 2009, 2010, even a little bit before that. We're going to offer an inside sales team that manages their inbound leads and also prospect around their houses. We have an operations team that's going to handle all the I's being dotted, the T's being crossed, and then we have your everyday agent that's going to be in there as well, all for the same price for an individual agent. We're not charging any more, even though we bring a tremendous amount more value.
Oh, that was well put and well said. I haven't heard it said that way before, where you're getting 21 people behind your transaction versus one for the same price. Yeah, I like that. That's very interesting. So let's talk about what the cool thing that's happening. So as we've mentioned, the American Dream, which is a TV show, a national TV show, is coming to Dallas, and it's airing this Saturday on TX21 at 1:00. And Denton, you're the first contributor. Your segment is the first one coming on the show's premiere. Tell us about why the American Dream was something that you were interested in being a part of, and then let's talk about a little bit about what you're going to be talking about.
Yeah. So when I first got word of what this was, I really, to be honest, wasn't quite sure what it was. I wasn't very familiar with Craig and his company and the American Dream, but I went ahead and went and took a look at it. And really, his tagline of educate, empower, and engage is kind of where he got me, because there had been other real estate shows out there that aren't really to educate, empower, and engage. And for me, I felt like that's a lot of what I do with our clients and what our team does with our clients is educate so they can make the best decision for their family and their real estate needs. So that's really what drew me to it. And of course, as we grow, this will give us a tremendous amount of exposure for the team and validity across the board, and will help my team grow as well.
Absolutely. That's really good. And I would assume that most of what you're doing when it comes to somebody buying a home is really educating them, because if you're not doing that every day, you don't really know what that process looks like or what's going to happen.
Right. And at the end of the day, we want repeat business as well. We want to treat our clients so well that they send us their friends, their families, their coworkers. And if we don't do that on the first transaction, why would they send anybody else to us? or why would they use us again anyways in the future?
Absolutely, that's a really good point. So back to the show, Denton. Tell us what you're talking about on the show, and what the viewer can expect when they tune in.
So what I thought of being first one on the show with the American Dream was to go ahead and just talk about the real estate market in general and what DFW is doing. There is some shifting going on in our market, and I'll be talking a lot more about that on the show. And then, of course, people that watch it are wondering what's going on in their specific market. We made that available too on our website. If you go to darexp.com and click American Dream TV show, there's a little section there where you can find out what's going on in your specific market. But that's what I'll be talking about, just what's happening. And that seems to be the number one question anytime I tell anybody I'm in real estate. The first question is, how's the market? So that's what I'm going to talk about.
People always want to know what their house may be worth, right?
Oh, absolutely. And people like and know that the real estate market is the foundation of the U.S. economy. So they want to know what's going on all over the country, what's going on here, there, so forth and so on.
Well, that's exciting. So we're looking forward to watching it. We're looking forward to getting the update on the market. And it's kind of the time of year that people are, maybe if you're thinking about selling, you probably start thinking around this time, and then as the summer approaches, maybe you're getting ready to actually go on the market. Is that the normal formula, or is it just kind of, it varies?
No, it can vary, but overall, if you look at trend lines over the last several years, first and fourth quarter are a little slower, and then second and third quarter are your hotter markets, and more homes go on the market as well as more homes sell. But overall, we're not a cyclical market like, let's say, a state up north where for a week you may be snowed in.
Right. I hope we don't get snowed in here. Absolutely. Well, Denton, we are looking forward to watching. And again, you can find Denton on the web at darexp.com. And also, we will link, Denton, your websites and contact on the Working Title with Zach Sam's Facebook page and our blog at workingtitlewithzachsams.com. Denton, thank you so much for being on. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday, and we'll talk soon. Take care. Okay, I want to take a second to talk about one of our biggest sponsors on the show. Kensington Vanguard National Title is one of the largest independent title insurance companies in the nation, with offices in New York, New Jersey, Florida, Virginia, and Texas, but doing business in all 50 states. They're a local employer, they're employing local people, and they do national business from the residential side to the commercial side in all 50 states. They offer settlement services, escrow services, and title insurance. The important thing about title insurance that I think a lot of people don't really get is that title insurance is insuring your piece of the American dream. Your private property that you own, the backbone of your ownership is your title insurance. The title insurance company, when you bought that property, researched it from beginning to end, and what they ensure is that you own that property and that you own it free and clear of any liens. That's basically somebody saying that there is money attached to that property that needs to be owed, or that no other person can claim ownership to that property at some point. So what that does for you is it lets you have that peace of mind that your property is yours, and if anybody tries to say otherwise, your title company will fight for you monetarily and legally to make sure that that property stays yours and under your ownership. For more about Kensington Vanguard National Title Company, you can visit kv-lonestar.com. When we get back, we will be talking to a real estate coach. What is a real estate coach? We'll find out when we get back. Thanks for listening to Working Title with Zach Sams. Welcome back to Working Title with Zach Sams. I have with me today Shon Kokoszka. Shon Kokoszka is a world-renowned real estate coach, and he's coming into Dallas to do an event for the real estate community. Shon, how are you doing?
Zach, I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Glad to have you on. It's always good to talk to you. Shon, I've known you a while. I know what you do, but hey, would you share with our listeners kind of what is a real estate coach if they don't know what that is? And then share with us about your event SOAR that is starting up next week and what that's going to entail for people in the real estate community and why that might be a benefit for them to attend.
Absolutely. So first off, let me just say, I've been in the shoes of a real estate professional, struggling to grow a team, to branch off into other line extensions that just make sense to start a mortgage company, a title company, a development company, a home building company. Guys, I've been around the world presenting the proven best practices of a real estate professional. I also interview what I call the icons of the industry. Once per month, I identify one real estate icon, somebody who's just crushing it in real estate sales. I'll fly out to their office, I'll analyze their systems, I'll interview their staff, their key direct reports to figure out how is it that these people are selling 500, 1,000, 2,000, or like Mark Spain, 3,100 homes per year. And
that's a lot of homes, Shon.
The best of the best as it relates to their systems and their models. And I then package that in such a way that I can teach it to somebody who's just brand new in real estate to improve their career's trajectory, to allow them to adopt the proven best practices that will get them results in this industry. Now, what we've done is we've taken all of this knowledge that we've assembled over the last 25 years, and we've packaged it into this new program called SOAR. Now, SOAR is an acronym. Excuse me. Stands for Success Other Agents Realize. See, success leaves clues, right, Zach?
Yes. So basically, kind of what you're saying is you're taking all the knowledge that you've gathered over the years through your own practices and through these icon agents that have really obviously built systems that work. And I guess you're taking that knowledge and bringing that and those best practices to, what is it, newer agents, or is it, what kind of agents benefit from this type of training?
Great question, Zach. I would say all agents. I don't care if you're a $1 million producer or a $100 million producer, you will gain the right mindset when you're in SOAR. See, I believe that 95% of our success in real estate, well, it is mindset. So when we adapt the best mindset, well, that's going to lead to the skill set. And once we adapt the skill set, meaning we know what to say, we know how to say it, and we say it to enough people, well, that's going to lead to listings. As we know, listings, well, it's leverage. And of course, the natural byproduct of getting so many signs out there, well, that's buyer business. So that buyer business, it's just a natural byproduct of doing the right things. What it takes is a plan. And then once you have a plan, it takes accountability. See, I believe accountability is the breakfast of champions, and I think that's what a great coach does. They're going to start as a consultant. They're going to help you develop the plan, and once we have clarity to the plan, recognizing clarity is absolute power, then it's about accountability to make certain that the plan is implemented and deployed as effectively as possible.
Well, that's really exciting. It sounds like to me, Shon, that this system actually could work across all industries, not just real estate. I think if you put those principles against really anything you were doing, you should be able to find success.
Well, you're exactly right, Zach. I've actually taught this methodology inside of McDonald's and Panasonic, as well as Sport Clips, and T-Mobile, and Blackbaud, and Genentech, just to name a few of those companies. And, it works for them, and it'll definitely work for a real estate agent.
Well, that's really exciting, Shon. So where can we find more information on SOAR so our listeners can find it? And we'll link to that on our blog and website and social media channels for you.
Awesome. Yeah, just go to our website. It's iconcoachinre.com. You could also put in /SOAR, SOAR, or you could click on the tab that says SOAR, and it'll bring you to all of the wealth of information that's there.
That's excellent, Shon. We'll definitely make sure that gets on our Facebook page and our blog, and we look forward to having you in Dallas next week for this event.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Zach.
You got it, Shon. Thanks for your time today. Have a good one. Thank you so much for listening today. I had a great time, and I'm already looking forward to next week. Next week, we will talk about what is going on in the DFW area and in North Texas, what's coming our way, what's fun, what's in the news, positive news that is. And we'll also have another sneak peek at the American Dream TV, where we will interview another one of the contributors who will be on the show the following Saturday. And we'll also have a special guest who you will meet on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. This was Working Title with Zach Sams. Thanks so much for listening. This is Zach Sams. Working Title with Zach